Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Fine-Tuning Your Marketing Strategy. I'm Linda, your host for today, and this is the Small Business Development Center. We're the Shasta-Cascade Small Business Development Center, and this is a nonprofit organization. We provide confidential, no-cost advisory and training services for small businesses. We're sponsored by the HSU Sponsored Programs Foundation and the SBA, as well as the Small Business Administration. We have no cost expert advice. Look at all these advisors here for you. We are focused in the Shasta Trinity area, that's far Northern California. However, the beauty of these webinars, you get to join us from anywhere and learn from these experts. We have over 40 additional subject matter experts for our far Northern California region, and we are here to help you in a number of different areas specific for your business. Today, the focus is with Lani and marketing. Our disclaimer: the information provided in this webinar and any supplementary materials provided to registrants are intended for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute professional, financial, or legal advice. No registrant should act or fail to act on the basis of any material contained in this webinar without obtaining proper financial, legal, and other professional advice specific to their situation. The Northern California Small Business Development Center and its host, the HSU Sponsored Programs Foundation, specifically disclaims any liability, loss, or risk, personal or otherwise, which is incurred as a consequence directly or indirectly of the use and application of the information presented in this webinar. And now I'd like to introduce you to Lani Lott. Lani.
Thank you, Linda, and welcome everybody. It's great to be here on July 7th talking about fine-tuning your marketing strategy. We are recording this webinar, as well as you will receive a copy of the PowerPoint along with a recording for attending today. And Linda will give you more information about when that will come out at the end of our webinar. This is an hour and a half. We're going to cover a lot of information. I do think I have a place in the middle for questions. And so just be aware to hold those questions, or if it's something that you just burning question, and put it in the chat. Linda will direct it to me as needed. Okay, yes, that's me. That's my sidekick, Charlie. I like to show you that is since the pandemic had hit and I was working a lot with at my home office through Zoom, Charlie has been joining me, and you may hear him greet you later in the presentation. I have my own consulting business. I've been involved in downtown revitalization and economic development for about 25 years. And then for the last 20 plus years, I've been providing advising services for a number of SBDC, Small Business Development Centers, across California, primarily up in Northern California, because that's my passion. And I cover a lot of areas, and today we're going to be talking about marketing, which is pretty much a favorite of every business that I work with. So today we're going to cover the marketing and the power of balancing the 7 Ps. So we're going to get a little bit into some theory and help you kind of think about marketing from all different aspects, not just putting an ad in the paper or pushing out something on your social media platform or updating your webinar. Updating your website. We're going to think about how the 7 Ps of marketing kind of work together, what they really mean. And then we're going to go into understanding your current marketing and outreach strategy, kind of talking deep into those areas, asking some questions. When was the last time you evaluated it? Was it prior to March 2020? And as we start to now go into post-pandemic, what's changed? And then some tips on fine-tuning your strategy and drafting an action plan. So I'm not going to go down deep into any particular marketing tactic. This is much more higher level, helps you look at it as in a holistic approach. So I'm going to stop my video because, as you can see, I talk with my hands a lot. And let's just jump in. So I always like to start with, what exactly is marketing? Everybody thinks, oh, that's my promotions, that's my social media, or that's my advertising. Well, it is, and more than that. our marketing strategy or marketing plan, or whatever you want to call it, sits nested within your overall business planning process. And I like to say the business plan because as advisors for the Small Business Development Center, we always encourage our clients to work towards looking at a business plan, whether you're drafting one because you're just starting out, or you're looking at updating an existing plan because you're getting ready to launch a new product or service, or you're even looking at a succession plan, whether you want to sell your business or pass it to your family members. So really the business plan is the overall vision and strategies for your entire business. The marketing strategy sits within that, and it is really targeted at who are my customers, how do I attract them to purchase my products and services for ultimately to generate income or revenue for your business so that you can pay your bills and have a profit. So that is where the marketing strategy fits in. And it is one of the more engaging and sexier topics, as I call it, than maybe looking at our financial projections or talking about our operations strategy, but it is part of the overall business planning process. So within the marketing, there are the 7 Ps, and this is pretty theory. This is pretty been around for a long time. Sometimes they're the 5 Ps, sometimes they're the 10 Ps, but I'm focusing on the 7 Ps of marketing. And they all play within developing your marketing mix. So when you start to think about your marketing mix as you're pushing out content on your social media platforms, what am I trying to do? Am I trying to promote my products and services? Am I trying to drive them to my online shop or the place where they can purchase my products and services? Am I trying to promote a sale or the price of mine, or just now, as we come out of post-pandemic, and maybe many places are opening up for in-person shopping or dining or service related type of visitations, or even coming into the professional offices again, your physical evidence announcing that you're open again, and what your hours are. So all of these Ps play a piece as you put together your promotional tactics and your marketing mix. So let's talk about the first one, products and services. Everybody knows what a product and service is, right? It refers to what you are selling or the service you are delivering. This is, your gut of your business. So for me as a professional consultant and business advisor, what I am promoting or trying to encourage folks to buy is my time and expertise, my service as a consultant. Where if you're a retail operation and you have products on the shelves, that's what you're trying to encourage and trying to promote. So your products and services. So you want to ask yourself, what does the customer want from my products and services? What are the benefits that they provide to my customer? Not necessarily the needs, but the benefits. How does it make their life better? How does it, why would they choose your product or service over your competitors? What needs do they satisfy? And then what are those benefits they provide back? Because often I tell my clients, it's the benefits that they provide your customer, the products and services provide back to your customer, that you want to highlight in your promotional and marketing approach. What features do they have to meet these needs? How and where will your customers use your products and services? What does it look like? How do my customers experience these products and services? And how are they different from your competition, or how do they sit different in the marketplace? And those are questions that you ask yourself. And when you get my PowerPoint presentation along with the recording, you'll see my notes and you'll have those questions to ask yourself. So we just say, sometimes sit back and kind of think about your products and services and how am I then highlighting them in my promotional tactics. The next P, and then these are in no order of importance. they're just in the order that I'm placing them, is place. And in the marketing mix, the process of moving products from the producer to the intended user is called place. So it could be from manufacturer to the consumer, right? So how they're brought into the marketplace: wholesale, franchise, direct, storefront, e-commerce, vending or exhibiting, which we're starting to see more folks come back into the in-person type of trade shows and fairs and festivals, or even through the third-party sites as Amazon or Etsy or eBay, or all of the above. And often there's a lot of different touch points that we have in terms of trying to put our products and services out there in a location to get them ultimately to your end user. So where do your buyers look for your product and service? If you're at the end of the place cycle, or the distribution channel, as we call it, and you have a storefront, or you have an online e-commerce site, then and you're promoting directly to those end users that are going to purchase that as a consumer, then that's where you want to look at promoting. If you're a manufacturer and you want to provide wholesale products to, let's say, a retail operation, then you're going to have a different approach of where those products could be listed. Franchises are also a different type of operation or place that you would then promote and market. If they look in a store, what kind? Are you online? Are you bricks and mortar? How can you access the right distribution channel? Now, with the onset of Amazon and eBay and Etsy, it's really opened up a lot of different channels, because then suddenly Etsy or Amazon becomes the go-between, where businesses may be looking at Amazon for purchasing products to put on their shelves, or the consumer, you and me, that want to buy one item from Amazon, and there's a lot of shopping going on there. You will look at Amazon to then look for a product or service and purchase it primarily for yourself. So these type of places are kind of a mix. Promotion. This is really where most people think marketing is and what it is all about. And promotion is essence lies the activities that a marketer, you as the business owner, or you as the marketing coordinator for a business, does in order to showcase the product in the market in the right sense, right? So promotion is all about how we're getting it out there in the marketplace, highlighting its benefits and its features, and getting in front of our target market. So where and when can you get your marketing messages across to your target market? And we're going to talk a little bit later about defining your target market, the primary market that's going to purchase your products or services. Will you reach your audience by advertising online, in the press, using direct marketing, on the internet? All of the above, right? These days with social media and digital marketing, and then being, somewhat having to pivot from the pandemic, digital marketing has really rise to the top of a lot of preferences for businesses, not only because it can get in front of a larger audience very quickly, but because you can do some of it yourself. You can monitor the insights, you can actually see how it's performing, and you can make changes very quickly. However, I am going to give a plug for traditional print type of marketing, because it still does have longevity. And we'll talk about that at the end. Traditional being print, whether it's in a newspaper, a magazine, on radio, and then how they're incorporating digital to give your advertising investment another additional bump. So not only do you get it in the print because people are still buying magazines or receiving them, but then they're also getting them and receiving them as e-magazines or e-publications. When is the best time to promote? Is there seasonality in your target market? If you're located like in many places in Northern California or rural America, you have seasonalities. You have a bump maybe in the summer and winter, where your shoulder seasons are the fall and spring. I am currently in my Phoenix office today, and our prime seasonality is not the summer, I'm going to tell you, because it's very warm out there. But our bump is usually January, February, and March and April, where our slower season and where we have to look at really trying to offer promotions or get our business out into some of our target markets is in the summer, because it's a totally different market, and and we see like a slide in sales during the summer months, where other businesses that may be located in a higher elevation will see a bump during the summer. And what promotional activities will set your business, products, and services apart from the competition? So, that is something too. You always want to be looking at where your competitors are marketing, how they're, what social media platforms they're using, and then, kind of comparing, okay, am I going after the same customer, or can I do it different, or do I need to compete, head on with them? So a lot of that goes into your marketing strategy, asking yourself those questions. And so I wanted to show you just this really nice email blast that a organization up in Trinity County just did for their first Saturdays and art walk that they have rebranded. And they have done this art cruise for years up there to really pull visitors in on a first Saturday of each month to walk their streets and visit the galleries and businesses that are open. And then now they're expanding it to really promote the entire Weaverville area and all the businesses that are there. So this promotion is for a organization that puts on this activity or this event. Then it spills into the other businesses that are there. They're part of the product, right? And so this was just an example of an email blast that they send out that goes to about 2,500 folks that have subscribed through the email platform. And it's very nice. It's branded. It kind of really gets your attention. So I just wanted to show that as an example of a promotion. Okay, price. This is our favorite topic, because price can be kind of a, interesting, dynamic piece of your marketing and your overall business plan. So we always recommend continually looking at the price of your products and services you sell to make sure they're appropriate in the realities of the current market. Now, if you're selling products and let's say a traditional retail operation, and you're taking them from a wholesale, bumping them up 50%, adding on your profit margins, and then putting that price on, your products and services, and then promoting them out, you have to always remember to kind of think about, okay, where am I in the pricing kind of strategy? Am I in the high end? Am I a higher end boutique, unique type of store where I can get away with a little bit higher price point because my products are of more quality, my market is of a little bit more affluent trade area? Or am I kind of at the lower end? I'm more positioned to be a discount kind of operation. And that's okay. Either one works. But you have to kind of like look at where you fit in that pricing strategy. For service-based businesses, as I am, or let's say you're a plumber or electrician, you kind of have to look at what the market is bearing. What is your competition charging? And what additional services, add-on values do you have? What's your customer service strategy? Because that all wraps around the price. People shop price, but that's not always the determining factor for why they hire or purchase something, right? Some of those added value benefits they provide is the reason that they will then do business with you or purchase your products and services. So the price is important because it does give you, that's what you ultimately have to, ring the cash register or sign the contract or deliver the product, the service for that end result of getting paid, which then goes into your overall revenue, but how you position it, where you're at, is kind of a piece that we work with many times with our clients to find that right sweet spot for really grabbing the attention and then making that final product. Now, with the onset of Amazon, it is really hard because there's so many people that are shopping it and getting these, you know, killer deals and that free shipping and, you know, no hassle return. And if you're using Amazon as one of your distribution channels, good for you, because you figured out that's another place to be. I personally can't, as a service business, go on Amazon, but there's other places that I can promote my my professional services on if I wanted to. And often when I am asked about my pricing strategy, it always throws me for a loop because I have this sliding scale. For nonprofits, I charge a certain price. For for-profit businesses, another price. And so, you know, again, if even for us professional businesses, it's not as easy as it sounds. So what's the value of your product or service to the buyers? Ask yourself, is the customer price sensitive? Will a decrease in price gain you extra market share? What discounts can be offered to wholesalers, customers, or to others in specific segments of your markets? So sometimes when we're working with some businesses, service-based businesses, they sometimes will offer wholesale prices to other outlets. For example, there's a water store we work with, and they will wholesale to a business that buys, you know, maybe a monthly subscription to their water delivery versus the price you would pay if you were just a customer that walked in off the street. So that price, I could go on forever on that one. And we could just go down the rabbit hole and we would just be bored to death, but it is very, very key piece of your marketing mix. And then the process. And I don't know about you, but I watch this Schitt's Creek comedy. I watch that whole series and I just love, you know, because it's my process. You can just hear her saying this because she's doing a little video for her business. And so the process involves all the ways the company and its customers can engage in order to facilitate getting the product to the consumer. And this could be kind of think about it as a roadmap of your company's operations. Now, we don't really think about that too much, but then when you start to think about your process, if you are, let's say, a service-based business and you provide HVAC services, you know, for air conditioning and heating, you may have a website, you may have a truck, you may have an actual standalone building, you may have, you know, outside sales folks that go in and do the bidding. Then you have service people that come in and actually do the installation. All of that is your process. And all of those are touch points that maybe work into the end result of how your business is marketed and promoted and referral based. From, I use the example that I had to get a new air conditioning in here a couple years ago. Yes, our air conditioning units last about 14 years in the desert because between the air and the heat, they just don't have a longevity. So you have to, you know, pretty much get a new one, and they're not cheap. And so it's pretty competitive. So when I had to get a new one, who was the first that I called? Well, it was my installers from 14 years ago because they provided great service. I still had their information. I had a business card. I called them. They came out. The bidder came out. He sat with me and explained everything, provided me with the funding options. And then when they installed, they cleaned up. They all wore booties in the house. They walked me through the new way that, you know, you're electronically controlling your air conditioning. So all of those processes were very key to helping create that experience for me, the consumer, on the customer service, and then thinking about them again when I, you know, refer them to someone else that may need a new air conditioning. So you have to kind of think of the processes and how it might impact your promotions. Are your service people branded? Are your trucks branded? How are they What's the customer service level that they provide? Do you do a follow-up call? All of those things are part of your marketing strategy, and they're the process. Physical evidence, well, that's pretty easy if you're a traditional storefront. You have a building, whether you're a service-based business or you're a retailer or a restaurant. But physical evidence goes beyond that. And now with all of the digital touch points, it also includes your website, your online shop, your packaging, your staff, all of those pieces that are part of where consumers or your customers will find your products and services. And these days, I always strongly suggest that every business have a strong web presence, because that's the first place they're going to search. We all search. Google is the king of SEO, and we put on search in, products in, a certain location, or electricians in, Mount Shasta, and what pops up, and you want to make sure your business pops up on that online search. So that's even physical evidence. I just really love this photo of this little retail unique little shop that's located up in, I think it's in it's up in Central California. I can't exactly remember where, but it's just so sweet. It's like, their displays are so orderly. Their products are folded. You kind of get the feeling they're a unique boutique. You're not walking into a fully branded shop like, Banana Republic or Gap that are, pretty branded. This is one that's really unique. And it's just a really nice presentation. So you think about physical evidence, it kind of is a reflection how businesses position themselves in the hearts and minds of their customers. And if you provide a great physical evidence, a great customer service, boy, you're going to have a customer for life. That's our goal as businesses, right? So finally, people. And people are probably the most important part of your business, of your marketing mix, and your overall business plan. Because I love this saying, Zig Ziglar, I used to listen to him way back in the day, a motivational speaker. He's still around, believe it or not. You don't build a business, you build people, and then people build the business. And right now, as we're rolling out of the pandemic, we're really aware of how important people are, because we are having a challenge as small businesses and large businesses too, of getting back enough staffing or enough people to help our businesses run, right? There's a lot of introducing and bringing back people and trying to hire up for the demand that is really impacting our businesses that are coming back in person. So really think about people in terms of your marketing mix, your culture, your employees, your management, your target market, your customer service, the people inside and outside of your business who are responsible for every element of your sales, marketing, customer service, and activities. All of that plays an important part when we're talking and thinking about our business plan and our marketing strategy. So those are the 7 Ps. Now, how do they all work with your marketing strategy? Yes, that's always a great question, right? I just want you to be aware that those are the 7 Ps. And when we start to think about fine-tuning our marketing plan, we want to think about how they play a part in when we develop our strategy and develop our branding, our messaging, our email campaigns, our social media posts, our videos. All of those kind of play a piece as we put together those images and the narratives, the storytelling, and really drive and try to reach our customers to ultimately purchase from us. So we want to start with thinking about your marketing plan and who do you want to reach? What are you currently using or not using that's working for you? What's a keeper as is or needs to shift due to COVID and now due to post-pandemic? And then we're going to talk about drafting that action plan. So the first one, and if you've taken a business planning workshop, or you have taken, so you want to start your business, we talk about this a lot. And this is our primary market. Who are those folks that are the low-hanging fruit, that are most likely to do business with you, to purchase from you? And really, I love this one, and I hear it a lot. Sometimes I think the same myself with my own business. It's everybody. Everybody should hire me. Everybody wants to do business with me. I'm the best, right? I have the best products. I know everybody's going to want that, that unique thing I make, or that food that I offer. Well, let's hope they do, but ultimately it's not that case, because there's a lot of folks out there doing a lot of the same thing, or a lot of competition. So who are the folks, the primary customer that's most likely going to purchase your products and services within your trade area, within the area that you've identified that you want to penetrate with your marketing strategy, with your advertising and promotional budget? Trade area could be, if you're in Reading, it could be 60 miles from where you're located. If you are an online operation, it could be within, the Northern California, or within the West Coast. For me, as a a professional service business, a consultant that specializes in downtown revitalization, I can work anywhere. My services are needed across the United States, because there's a downtown in every single community across the United States. But what I have found over the years is that my primary target market, those folks that are most likely going to hire me, which are cities, are primarily on the West Coast, because there's a lot of travel expenses that go with bringing me out on the East Coast. They have a lot of consultants out there that do the same thing. So over time, I've really learned that my primary market for me is here over in California, Arizona, Nevada, and a little bit in New Mexico. I used to do a lot of work in New Mexico, then it kind of shifted. So you have to think about, who are they? Are they local residents? Are they regional residents? Am I business to business? Am I promoting my products and services to other businesses? So what do you know about them? How often do they buy from you? What's the average sale? Right now, have they purchased from you at all? And with the pandemic, and when we were really like, whoop, the brakes went on March 20th and just started to ease up in maybe the end of the year, just now kind of getting back on a somewhat of a throttle in July, we've had time to look at who is buying from us, because a lot of them stopped buying from us, especially if you were a type of business that depended on that visitor or tourist seasonality market. And so, kind of taking a moment, looking at and finding out who's buying from me, what are they buying from me? And this is where your accounting or your bookkeeping comes in really handy. With like QuickBooks, you can like do reports left and right to figure that out. What did or do they purchase from me? Have they purchased from me during the pandemic? Are they starting to come back after the pandemic? Am I seeing them? How are you tracking your customer base? How are you capturing emails? How are you putting them in some kind of system so you know who's buying from you, who your market is? And then what kind of information do you have about them? Do you have emails, phone numbers? Have you done some like social media campaigns where you actually can see from the back end, where they're coming from, what's the region, because you've targeted your social media campaigns to reach a specific region or area. So this is one that we always want to be watching and looking. And one of the old-fashioned ways that we used to do is just that plain ask the customer, how did you hear about us? Oh, so-and-so referred you. Oh, really? Great. Thank you for that. I'll have to make sure I mention a thank you. Sometimes just taking the time, we don't hear it too much anymore, but we will start to again. How did they find out about you? And then our secondary market. So your primary market is that kind of the market that's going to pay the bills. These are the dependable folks that you know that are going to purchase from you on a regular basis within your trade area. And that this is where you focus a lot of your marketing on, and keeping them coming back and continuing to do business with you. Your secondary market is composed of your primary and secondary market. So your secondary are those who want this to have the same need as your primary market, but with a lesser intent or with less urgency. So often in our more rural communities, if you're in a place where there's some assets, some visitor attractions, like I put Turtle Bay here for Reading, could be up in Trinity, it could be the river down in Sacramento, it could be, you know, Old Town, it could be you're located in a neighborhood where there's some trendy restaurants and there's some art galleries. So the secondary market is usually those that you see probably a little bump in the seasonality part, or during when there's an event. Like my husband has traveled over to Wyoming, and he's had to stay in Grand Junction, Colorado, because, you know, it's a 16-hour drive and he's driving over there. And he says, oh yeah, there wasn't a hotel room to be seen because they had this big festival going on. Well, sometimes for, you know, communities, a festival or a fair, I mean, I know out here in Arizona in March, it's, you know, spring training, right? And right now, because we're hosting the Suns, our Phoenix Suns are in the playoffs in basketball for the championship, we're seeing the huge impact of people coming in. Now, if your business is positioned for that, great, take advantage of it. If not, then look for a secondary market. Maybe those are, you know, folks that have popped in, but you haven't seen them for a few years. So your secondary market might be those people that haven't come back and you want to remarket back to them. So you want to think about your secondary market the same way that you think about your primary market. And then developing your marketing strategy a little bit different for reaching them. So learning more about where your primary and secondary markets are. Okay, so I'm going to talk about market research a little bit. My favorite subject, not everybody's favorite subject, but when you're putting together your marketing strategy, which is part of your business plan, or you're just doing your business plan, you have to do some market research. So secondary sources, such as federal, state, city, and county websites where they pull down, let's say, the US consensus figures, or they've done, you know, and pulled out for their specific county or city, how many people live there, what's the demographics, what's the percentage of household income. All of that gives you probably a really good first snapshot of your trade area, but it doesn't dive deep into how much are they spending in a specific business. Sometimes you have to go into your trade or industry associations where they've done some primary data research, where they've actually asked folks, you know, your potential customer, what's the average that they spend on a new HVAC system, or for a house call for coming out and repairing a plumbing, or, you know, your for those type of service-based businesses. Chambers of Commerce's do a lot of market research. They may be asking customers who visit their sites, their visitor sites, you know, where are you from? What did you do when you were here? How much did you spend? And then the private sector, there are a lot of great sources, and many times your federal or your state or city and county websites will contract with private sites like Esri, where they do consumer spending in the specific targeted business profiles like retail or food or service base. And you can pull down for your specific trade area, what's the average sales made in a month in that specific industry. And then you can see what your sales are. And if you're capturing all of the potential sales that are happening in your area. I know we get geeky when we start talking economic data, but I'm sorry, but data doesn't lie. It just gives you a glimpse of what's really happening, and then the rest of the job is ours as businesses to figure out how we grab some of that potential spending. This is from a site that Shasta County belongs to, and this is direct travel spending, visitor spending, and this is from the visitor Shasta-Cascade Wonderland, or Northern Upstate North. I forget their rebranding. And this is actually showing what visitors are spending when they come to Shasta County. And if you're a business that's trying to capture some of that visitor tourist market, whether you're an organization that's putting on events, or your business is one of the assets like Turtle Bay, or you're located in one of the areas that visitors like to visit because you're in that destination area, then you're going to want to know about these sites. Okay, deep breath. The next thing you want to do is, after you look at your primary and secondary market and think about how you can learn more about them, taking inventory of your distribution channels. Pretty easy to do. Get a piece of paper and list all of the ways that you are using or can use to generate sales. Now, with the pandemic upon us, and now the post-pandemic and people coming back to more in-person activities and engagement, we learned really quickly that we needed a lot of different ways to get our products and services out to our customers when they were sheltered in place, right? Or social distancing really hit our restaurants. Big time turned. Delivery, takeout, retail, big time turn in getting e-commerce sites up, shop on Facebook, on Etsy, on Artsy, just in anywhere you could to get those products and services online digitally. Wholesale, now as we're coming back, bricks and mortar, and you're going to see a lot of changes in how those traditional storefronts are changing. Might be less inventory because they need more space in distancing, protection in the service areas. So you want to kind of think about, what are the touch points? What are the ways that I'm getting my products and services out there? And do I need to beef them up? Am I including them in all of my marketing? Do I need to promote one over the other to really balance out where revenue is coming from? So those are the things you want to kind of think about as you're looking at your marketing strategy. And then you want to go and inventory all of your marketing tactics. And you want to maybe not be so close to it. You know, a lot of times when I'm working with clients, I'm like, well, let's look at your website. Oh yeah, it looks really good, doesn't it? I just made all these changes. Yeah, but didn't put any of your social media icons on there, so nobody knows you're on Facebook or Pinterest or Instagram. Oh shoot, I must have forgot that. So having a third pair of eyes is really very useful. So list all of the ways that you promote and market your business products and services, whether that's your website, networking. As we come back virtually, you maybe have been networking through LinkedIn. Now that we're going to be able to maybe see some events coming back more in person or hybrids, you're going to probably see some more networking within trade associations and chambers of commerce. We're seeing some trade shows coming back online. We're seeing festivals and events coming back online. Social media. What social media platforms are you using and using effectively? You want to think about that in terms of, I have 5 of them. I have 6 platforms, but boy, I haven't looked at my LinkedIn since, 2020, 2005, or I know I have that Instagram for my business, but gosh, I haven't looked at that and haven't posted on it. So, that's okay. I recommend to my clients, do 2 or 3 social media platforms and do them well and do them thoroughly and really leverage them to the full max. If you want to use social media, email marketing. I'm a big believer in email marketing. It drops right into folks' email boxes without them even asking. They have the choice to unsubscribe, but you've got to have the permission for their emails. So what are you using for email? What kind of digital advertising have you looked into and done over the past couple years? What's your physical location look like? What improvements have you made since the pandemic, or changes? Have you moved even? Signs on vehicles, and then your traditional print. And then once you want to kind of look at all of your marketing and then tactics, whatever we want to call them, then you want to kind of align, how am I using them to really promote my products and services, promote my business? What's the purpose? And then am I using them effectively? Like for selling products and services, is my e-commerce and social commerce site really producing? And I just got it going in the last year, so I'm going to really look at promoting and marketing that. I'm going to look at loading up inventory on there. I'm going to make sure I make some changes in my physical location so I can handle the additional shipping, and even just the taking pictures of it to get it up onto your social media platforms and onto your website. Have I integrated all of the new services that I've introduced over the last 2 years or the year and a half? Am I doing, are my videos that for our SBDC, for Shasta-Cascade SBDC, which, today we have a lot of our training webinars on our YouTube channel. And we promote that YouTube channel a lot because that gives you the ability to go and watch and get educated at your own time, right? YouTube channel is about inventorying and housing all of those type of do-it-yourselves type of videos and webinars that people then can learn more about how to do, learn more about your business. Plus you get to promote in a deeper venue more about the services and the benefits it provides to your customers. So you want to kind of think about all of those and then how you're using them. And there's a lot of different ways to promote and market business, right? And as the one-person shop, as I am, a one-person consultant, yikes, it is a lot of balls in the air. Plus then I'm trying to do the work. Plus then I'm trying to manage staff. And then I'm trying to recruit new business while I'm out there networking, and things fall short. And that's okay. So just see what's working, what 4 or 5 things you can do effectively, and focus on that. So ask yourself a few questions about your marketing. What's working for your business? What seriously is working? What has changed since the pandemic? And now that I'm looking at post-pandemic, what do I need to actually either reintroduce back into my marketing or just eliminate altogether? Where are my customers living online? This is so key. If your customers are living online on TikTok, but you're still using Snapchat, you might want to look at switching. I don't use any of those because my target market are cities and, professional organizations and even nonprofit organizations. And very few of them are watching me on TikTok. All of them want to know who I've worked for and what are my services. So my website is my primary platform. And then I dabble in a little bit of social media. I am so busy handling other organizations' social media that I forget about my own. But I know that when I answer a request for proposal or respond to an inquiry, if I can do something for one of my clients, one of my customers, my clients, that they're going to go to my website, and it better be current, and it better have all of my references there, and my LinkedIn. My LinkedIn as a professional business, my personal profile is key, because that is about me, the product, because the consultant, you're the product. So you want to think about, where are they living online? How do I plan to reach or go to them now as post-pandemic is opening up? Am I reaching them through my website? What's my SEO? Am I going to be doing email marketing, announcing that my storefront is open again, or that I'm now taking, my e-commerce site is available to purchase products and services, that I have both. We're seeing both. I did a lot of research about what businesses are doing and opening up, primarily retail. And all of them, majority of the businesses still have their little storefronts in these little unique, rural communities, but they all have an online shop now. So now they've got 2 shops to manage. And so how are you promoting that? Am I using all the features available to my business via social media platform? This is a low-hanging fruit. Go in there, and if you're using Facebook or you're using LinkedIn or you're using YouTube or you're using 3 or 4 of them, make sure that all of the features are built out and current. Are there any new opportunities for growing on my digital marketing and social presence? And this is where I say, really look at your memberships in different organizations, whether that's the chamber or a trade association or your downtown association. They all have online presence. And as a member, you get a link, usually a listing in a directory. I can't tell you how many times I research businesses and go to those sites, and their links for your business doesn't work because somehow when it got transferred onto that third-party site, it didn't go in right. So you want to look at all of those areas where you are sitting digitally in another organizational or partner's website or social media platform. And is it correct information? Do the links work? Do I need to freshen it up? Do I have a new brand? So take some time about that. Think about that. How am I using social media to interact with my customers? Do you have Messenger? Are you using it? Are you even considered advertising in Messenger if you're using Facebook or Instagram? Are you asking for reviews? Have you built out your reviews on LinkedIn, your recommendations? If you have a review site like Yelp or TripAdvisor, we don't want to see a review from 2019. We want to see one from 2021. We don't care about what happened in the past. We want to know about current. And I love this. I found this, and this is in Colorado. This organic farm took an ice cream truck and converted it to their products and meals to go to their customers. So, we saw a lot of food trucks that are now participating and coming out. And this, I just love this. This is just such a great little brand. They have a chalkboard paint on the side. I've seen this even for retail operations, unique boutiques going to a festival not in a booth anymore, but showing up in a downtown on a corner that's maybe needs activating in a parking lot. And then you are there, right? How is my online shop performing? And this is where we can assist you. We can help look at your insights. We can ask these questions to you about it, and then help you kind of develop and re-strategize how to get it to perform better. And then, I'm always saying, well, what is the goal or purpose of each of your marketing tactics? Well, I just know that I need to do social media and I really like Instagram. Okay, so let's talk about how you're using it, because we will navigate towards something that we understand and we like, and we will do it as the business owner. If you have a team of marketers, more power to you, but you still need to help develop the content. Is our marketing matched with the right sales channel? And then, what marketing or promotional activities are keepers? What are we going to keep using? What needs to be fine-tuned and updated? What could I expand on and work on more on this next 12-month plan? What can I put on hold for a while? Probably if you used to do in-person events and festivals, they're slowly coming back, but I'm going to tell you, because I'm working in that field, they're coming back fast and fierce, and there are opportunities if you want to be a vendor, because a lot of vendors aren't coming back, moved on, moved out of the area, but the event itself still needs to have vendors. They need to have food vendors. They need to have arts and craft vendors. They need to have, you as a business owner coming to a trade show to promote, your products and services to business folks. So you want to look at those. and you want to look at them seriously and figure out which ones add value back to your marketing strategy, because they do take a lot of time and effort. You may want to do a hybrid. Some of them are coming back in person and some are doing them hybrid. They're doing in person and then they're doing some live stuff at the same time. Some are coming back just in person and getting rid of the virtual altogether. And then what can we dump all together? What was like, oh my God, I'm so glad for the pandemic. I don't have to do that anymore. So there may be a few things there that you just say, oh, I just don't want to do that. Let's say that once a month live, hello, welcome to my store. Here we are. I'm going to walk around and show you all my new products and services. Maybe you're going to dump that because now your store is open and you have a little more robust e-commerce site. So there are some things that you can get rid of. So last thing before I take a break, and then we jump into the last part of my presentation, finish with your fine tuning your strategy. So how do you develop that 12-month calendar? First of all, establish some high-level goals. What are you wanting to achieve over the next year, 2 years? You want to promote you are reopened and what is new or the same. Maybe you want to launch a new product or service. Over the last year and a half, you've introduced some new products and services that you didn't have before. Maybe you do online appointments. Maybe you do virtual showings. Maybe you have a new a vendor you've partnered with, and you have new products that come along with your service. And then or you want to drive business to your online shop. Whatever it is, could have 4 goals. Then identify your target markets and secondary customer groups. Do that inventory, and then say, okay, I really need to re-engage with my visitor market. So I'm going to focus a lot on that secondary target market. And for the next 12 months, I'm going to start really introducing and trying to draw them back into our communities as travel starts to happen. And so then you want to create in the next 12 months, what am I going to be doing? This is just, I can't do it for you. We assist you. But just, you got to write it down, and you just got to kind of, put it in a notebook or put it on a big piece of white paper across your office, and just brainstorm with your team and just get it out of your head and onto paper, and then look at it. And if it's social media, you want to really, push out social media 3 times a week. You want to push out content. Then what are you going to push out in August? What are you going to push out in September? Or do it by quarters. In September, from September to December, Q4, huge for retailers, huge for restaurants. Used to be. It's going to be a little slower. Maybe not. Because remember, not everybody's opening up the same manner, but they are bringing back events. So if you're in that kind of trade area, look at what promotions and events are going to be happening in Q4. Are we going to do a holiday kind of activity in your area? Is there going to be a fall festival? Like 4th of July, oh my gosh, it was all over the page. Everybody was, opening up, but things were a little different. So you just kind of want to look at this in a year period, take it quarter by quarter. That's probably chewable, and do September through December first, and then, look at January through March, and then just kind of, chop it up into small segments. And with that said, before I move into the last part of my presentation, how am I doing, Linda? Ooh, I still got a half an hour to go. I'm doing pretty good.
You sure are, Lani.
I just feel like I am just talking nonstop. Do I have any questions from any of our attendees that they're just a burning question right now?
There's nothing in the chat, but you are welcome to turn your microphone on and ask a question if you'd like.
Okay.
I do not see any microphones going on right now, Lani.
Okay. Well, either I've overwhelmed them, or boy, they're just like, got it on hold. And
oh, Jean has a question. Jean, go ahead and ask your question.
Well, this was absolutely terrific. Thank you so much. And I wanted to tell you something that really hit me and was very helpful. Your secondary market.
Uh-huh.
I never thought about that. My primary should I talk? Should I say something or no? Yeah, well, my primary market is couples that are falling apart.
Okay.
And I'm a licensed psychotherapist, marriage and family fixer.
Uh-huh.
And I love couples that are headed toward divorce
Okay.
because I want to see that I can help them understand what they need to do to not get divorced, but to make it better.
Mhm.
So that's my primary market. My secondary, which you have me thinking now, is couples who need a tune-up
Yeah.
so they don't have to get to divorce zone. And so putting that in my marketing plan too is a big aha for me.
Good.
Aha,
Good.
thank you.
Uh-huh. And then how you would promote and market to them with your messaging may be a little different than you are.
Exactly. And that's my best takeaway so far.
Well, thank you, Jean, for that. It gives me
Thank you.
goose pimples.
Awesome.
Thank you. Okay. So thank you for sharing that, Jean, with everyone. So I'm going to talk about some key marketing touch points because I talked about those a lot in the marketing strategy. And this is more of a fun share so you can see some examples and what people are doing out there in terms of what I believe are the 10 marketing touch points that every business should consider. Now, it's going to be different if you're like a professional therapist like Jean or a consultant like myself, or you're a retail operation. Now, I picked the first one, and this is the water bar up in Weaverville. And I picked this one for branding because Amber, she is the business owner right there. She is the branding queen, I'm telling you. And she has done a great job branding her locations and her business and her services. Not only does she sell retail, water retail, but then she provides services too, like she delivers to businesses, and she opened up a second location. So I just wanted to show you her storefront up here in the left-hand corner. And then her website here is down here, the water bar. Fill, drink, repeat is kind of her tagline, right? And then she has this really great website. She has right up there on the front of the website, 2 locations to serve you, Weaverville and Willow Creek. And then her Instagram is completely branded. Oops, sorry. Completely branded. She posts all the time. She's always tagging. Then she goes into merchandise, right? She has the hats and the shirts. So really kind of talking, when you're very starting out your business, a lot goes into the name and into the vision, the image, because that's really what we're going to be putting out in the digital world or the physical world, in our physical evidence, right? Or our place. But it also then, many businesses have taken the time over the last year and a half to rebrand, freshen up their brand, really help them think a little bit about taking the time to change their tagline, or just, kind of, that piece of rebranding. And if that was what some of the businesses did, you're going to have to really focus on reintroducing that new brand out into the marketplace and talking about that and making sure that all of your different touch points have that new brand. So really branding your business is the outcome of consistency across all of your marketing touch points. The next one is your website. And I talk about this a lot, and let me get to my notes here because I don't know if I have any notes on the website. No, I think I've got most of them here. You own a website. You own that real estate. You must have some kind of web presence. If you're just starting out, some people think that their Facebook page is enough, or a site on, let's say, Etsy, or a third-party site. Please try to think about investing in at least a one-page website or a couple-page website. You really need to have that front-facing internet presence that you can help navigate people to learn more about your business when they're searching for products and services, or they learned about your business because you attended a networking opportunity, or you were at a trade show, or you were at a festival, or somebody referred them to you, or they just are, popped and walked by your storefront. And maybe it was during when you weren't open. So your website is really your opportunity. It is the backbone of your business, and it's the opportunity to go deeper dive into talking more about everything you do and cross promote all of your products and services. It gets really hard to go into a lot of narrative on the social media platforms. People do not read pages and pages and pages about, everything you've done. And yeah, they may on LinkedIn, they may look at your, experience and go into that resume. But for the most part, your website is really your front facing evidence of your business and your credibility in the marketplace. And then it also links to your e-commerce site, or it links to your social media platforms, or people can subscribe to your email marketing piece, or they can book you or call you or order gift cards. So you want to have it easily navigated. I don't want it so confusing and hard that people get lost in the middle of it. Want to secure a hosting platform, right? You want to have an obvious call to action. You want to have professional quality content. Now, if you only, are starting out and you just have a one-pager, invest in some quality images and look at your messaging, your content. You want your personality, your business personality to shine through, so that once folks meet you or come to your business, or actually get your package in the mail, it kind of, your image, your personality shines through, that what they saw on the website is really follows through in the delivery of all the other pieces of your business. But you write like you want to write your personality. Now, we can do more of our personality in our social media posts, because that's everyday engagement. That's meant for two-way engagement. Our website is more of a one-way, right? Unless you're leading them to another place to take action, but you're not talking to them all the time on your website. It's more of a one-way, unless you have a chat box and that's part of your customer service. So this is an example. This is from Straw House Coffee and Resorts. They're up halfway between Weaverville and Willow Creek. They're upriver, as they call it, or is it downriver? And it's a beautiful location. They have a resort. They have organic coffee they've branded that you can find in there or in supermarkets in local areas. They have a wedding venue. They have a full-on patio and served lunch. They have a lot going on. So their website is pretty deep, and they made a lot of changes during the last year and a half about really trying to position this while they maybe had less visitors coming, because they do depend on that visitor market. So you can book online. You can see right on the top, they still have COVID information. You have the phone number very clear. And then if you go into these drop downs, you can learn more about their wedding venue, if that's what you're looking for, or their cafe. But that is a beautiful picture of their patio. And then the river is just there to the left. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to start with. There's a lot of sites out there you can do yourself. Just have some second pair of eyes or third pair of eyes, and family member or somebody of a generation that maybe is your customer base. Have them look at it, have them navigate it. We do the same thing for our clients. I'm a terrible speller. Thank goodness some of like Linda, she sometimes catches some of my misspelled words or things that don't work. So, we're all human, but you want that website to be really representative of your business and your personality. Social media touch points. I've already mentioned this. It's consistent, everyday engagement. So whatever social media platform you're going to choose, if you choose any of them, And we all hear, oh, you got to be on social media. Well, you can be, because most of them are free, and it's easy to set them up. The rest of the story is that you got to manage them, just like you manage your employees. You manage your inventory in your storefront, you manage your billing, you manage your paying your taxes, all of those things. But social media as a marketing strategy, if you're going to do one, do it really, really well. And be patient. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to grow, and it's one piece of your marketing portfolio, right? It's one piece you do to reach and keep your business brand out there. So integrate your brand, create your social media voice. I recommend 3 to 4 times a week posting, and I have clients like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Well, you think of it in buckets. Mondays, I post about my business. Wednesday, I'm going to showcase something of another local business, or I'm going to do a shout out about something, a review I got, and Fridays, I'm going to talk about what's happening in our region for the weekend, and I'm going to tag other businesses. So or I'm going to do something educational. You have to get creative. You've got to take pictures. Organic content's the best. Yes, you can share stuff from other sites, but you really, really need to focus on organic content. That's what really raises your engagement. And then you might want to pay to play, as we call it, do some boosting of some high performing posts, and pay to have that post on Instagram or Facebook to reach a targeted audience. You may want to invest in that to build your social media following. You want to fully develop all your features. Remember to maintain a firewall between your personal sharing on your personal profiles and those that you're using for your business. You don't want to mix the two, and sometimes we forget about that. And I love this stat. 67% of consumers use social media for customer support, and 33% prefer it over the telephone. Yeah, I know. So, those messages, those comments that come on through your social media platforms, respond to every single one. And if you're going to use Messenger, use it effectively. And the telephone still works. Okay, niche market print. Now this I call, like, if you're in a specific niche, like for me, one of my associations that I belong to, the National Main Street, which covers, a lot of communities that are doing downtown revitalization. They have a publication they put out, and now it's online. I sometimes will invest in that because it's very niche marketed. It's going in front of all of my target market. And I know that the dollars that I'm investing in that particular piece of publication is going to reach my potential target market. And then what's my call for action? Where am I leading them back to my website? Do I have a defined URL where I can measure how many come to that URL or to my page, to the certain page that I've created on my website to kind of have them come to, so I can see if there's a bump in that page activity, some way to measure it, right? Again, the publications have changed a lot, but they're still very valuable. I know up in Trinity County, very small county, right? One of our territories through the Shasta-Cascade SBDC, they have a paper that comes out once a week. And if you're not in that paper, you're not happening. And the newspaper publisher owns it, and he will list all of the events that are coming up in the community every week in that paper. A lot of businesses that are catering to the Trinity County region will advertise in that paper because it reaches everybody. And now they do have an online version, so it's getting even more up to the virtual digital marketing world. Email marketing. I don't care which program you use, but you start to really, in 2021, 22, what's left, if I give you one thing to work on, that is to get your email list in order, start gathering emails now as folks are coming back physically to your business or finding you on your online presence. Capture those emails. Make sure that they're subscribing to your email marketing program. It's low cost, builds loyalty, easy to segment. You can have immediate communication with your customers. And you can then also, many of the third-party programs, and I'm not recommending one over the other, the value is that a lot of them are integrating social media, even have some online shops opening up or online opportunities. But the email marketing, you create the piece and then you push it out and it goes to those emails that you have in your database. It drops in there and then you can see which ones from the back end, which ones were open. Did you have a 20% open rate, which is really, really good. If you had a 30% open rate, even better. And what click-throughs went through. So we do a whole webinar on email marketing and how to grow your list, how to really use that venue. Trade, industry, and business groups. I always recommend consider joining one, at least one. That could be your local chamber, that could be your local trade association, that can be your professional networking group. For me, it's my professional trade association that I belong to. It costs me a couple $100 a year, but I really get a lot out of it. And again, if you invest in it, you have to work it like anything else. What networking are they offering? What benefits do you receive from it? For a lot of startups, home-based businesses, mom and pops, your membership or involvement can provide you with a chance to interact with people and network with your competition or your peers, find out what's going on. Even if it's virtual still, virtual networking breakfasts. I know some are coming back to in-person. You can generate leads, business-to-business opportunities, learn a lot. You can get a referrals. So choose one that you will fully work and leverage the benefits and be part of. Trade associations don't want their members just to join for the money. They want you to help leverage it and be part of it and get benefit from being engaged with them. Trade shows, events, and festivals, they're coming back. I'm going to do a session on in a week with another SBDC on. So you're coming back to sell face-to-face, right? Slowly coming back. Here's an area, if you were doing any trade associations or events or even being a vendor at a fair or a festival, are you going to engage in that? How's it changed? What's your booth look like? Do you have to have social distancing? Do you have an on-commerce site now that you really want to promote and push out? So you have to bring less products and services. Here in Phoenix, we've had our farmers market in Central Phoenix. It's never closed. In the summer, believe it or not, they move all of the certified food into a building because it's held at a very large church, and they move it into a building. But the rest of the vendors, which a lot of them are independent artisans, still can sell their products. Sorry, must be the mailman. So anyways, and then I guess a good time for questions here.
So if you have any questions for Lani, you're welcome to type them in the chat, or you can turn your microphone on and ask the question directly.
So stellar customer service is still one of our key touch points across all of your marketing strategies. So you just want to make sure that you think about that and always, providing, going beyond people's expectations. So Linda,
we do have another question. Jean, did you have a question?
Well, I don't know how to capture emails. I've never done that, and that's important. I have no idea.
Okay, I think my dog is done letting the postman know that here. That's a really great question, Jean. So would you get it? Would you, do you have a website?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so then a lot of the third party, hold on just a second. Okay, I asked him to stop. So a lot of the third party programs like MailChimp or Constant Contact will offer, that you can subscribe to them for a small fee, or a couple of them may be free. And there's a little pop-up that'll come on your website that says subscribe to my email. And so it'll pop up, and I'm sure you've seen these on other websites. And a lot of us just delete it because we don't want to get those emails. So you could put that on your website, and then they would capture it when they go to your website. You can then also let people know, and you can push the link out through your social media marketing. If you get emails on your client intake forms when you're working with your clients, you can add that to your email list. You're like in MailChimp, you add those emails and then they keep it for you. So it's not on your hard drive. You access it through a like we do with Facebook, you have a login. So it's not sitting on your hard drive, but it's over there in their program. And so, but nobody else can access it, right? And then they have some templates. So you could do a quarterly newsletter, or you could do a once a month newsletter, maybe some new tips that are about in your industry, or you want to refer this great book, or you want to announce the new services, or you have to be kind of creative about what you want to educate your clients about. But that's how you start to capture them.
Excellent. Thank you. Got it.
You're welcome. Okay.
Lani,
So yes, Linda.
I do have a question in the chat, and that is, do you recommend business cards?
Yes, absolutely. I didn't even put those on my key touch points because I'm just thinking that those are something everybody has, right? Absolutely. Business cards. Have them with you all the time. And remember to use the back of your business card. So if your front of your business card, we have our website and our phone number, and we have our logo. On the back, bullet some of the services you offer, or you have maybe a motto that is part of your tagline or your philosophy or your vision. But always think the back of the business card. And yes, business cards are the low-hanging fruit, cost-effective, #1 marketing tactic that you can invest in right away. And your goal is to get rid of them, not to have them sitting in your office as a trophy. So I have business cards for all different clients because of that I represent, but I always have them with me, and I always have them in my purse, or because you just never know when you're going to come across. And you're passionate about your business, and you want to share. And it's funny how you're in a group setting and somebody say, well, what do you do? And I'm a business consultant. Really? Yeah, I do downtown revitalization. Really? What's that? Oh yeah, let me tell you about it. Oh, my city needs you so bad. Do you have a card? There you go, right? So thank you for that question. I think we have about 8 minutes or 7 minutes. So I don't know, Linda, if you want to talk a little bit about the survey, and we can definitely answer some more questions.
Sure, I will do that. Good timing. Thanks, Lani. I will put a link to our survey in the chat in just a minute, and we would love it if you would click on that link. It will open up a new window, and you can then complete the survey after the webinar is over. What we love to find out from you is, what did you love about this webinar? Any feedback you have of how we can make it better. We're always working to improve them. And if there are any topics you'd like us to cover in future webinars, we want to make sure we're creating what's going to best serve you. So I will get that link out in the chat in just a moment.
Okay. I know one time I got somebody said, well, the barking dog. Oh, I so apologize for that. Charlie, I inherited him in the pandemic. And as I've said, he's been a blessing, but he does like the postman. And then, so I'll let Linda, she's really great about wrapping it up with this slide. Do I have any other questions? Anybody want to unmic and share?
So I can get that link out. I'll, if there aren't questions, if you can talk about what do people do in order to work with us? What is that process reaching out to Emily? That's really helpful.
Sure. Okay, so we represent Shasta-Cascade SBDC. That's who's hosting this webinar today. So our service area is Shasta County and Trinity County. And if you're located in that county, you can email Emily right here or call her, and she'll take some information, and then she'll align you with one of our advisors to meet your needs. If you are not in one of our counties, then you can go to the this link right below that says americasbdc.org, find your SBDC, because they're located in every county across the United States. And you can find one in your county, your area, your state, and you can call them and say, hey, I was on this webinar. I understand you do business advising. And we do, all of the SBDCs provide business advising. So the way it works is Emily would ask a few questions, get some information, and then she aligns and contacts one of us as a business advisor. And then we contact you and we meet with you one-on-one confidentially right now via Zoom. We're slowly coming back in person to meet and talk about your business needs and provide advice on how to move you forward with your goals. It can be on, I want to write a business plan. I want to start a business. I want to do email marketing. I want to, look at e-commerce. I have to up my staff and I want to hire new people. And I'm kind of confused about, where to go to find them. We don't do stuff for you. We advise, direct, guide, and act as a resource for you. So that's what we do. And then we have all of these great webinars that we put on across Northern California network. We're one of the largest networks in the SBDC world. And we have, you have access to all kinds of webinar trainings that cover all kinds of subjects. And then of course, we've got our Facebook, our Twitter, our LinkedIn, our YouTube. We're totally branded.
Okay, Lani, so I did get the link out to the survey. I also put a link in the chat of sbdc.org/events, where you can look at our calendar and see our future trainings. Someone did ask, Lani, when will there be a training on email? It says, do you know when you're having the email webinar?
I don't think I'm going to have it again this year, but it is on our YouTube. So if you go to the YouTube channel and our YouTube channel and you subscribe, you just put in there email marketing and it'll come up. I can't remember. I'm looking at my calendar right now. I think I'm doing one on social media tactics and then advertising. So it was in the past, so it probably won't be, but it is on our YouTube channel.
And Lani, just to make sure people are aware, within about 3 business days, you will receive, if you've registered for this webinar, you will receive an email from Emily, who works with us. And in that email, she is going to send you the PowerPoint slide deck that Lani used, along with a link to watch this recorded webinar so you can watch it again.
Great. Okay, well, with all that said, I really want to thank everybody for attending. And go out there, fine tune your marketing strategy, keep doing what you're doing. I don't know about you guys, but post-pandemic, I am busier than ever. And it's encouraging to see that businesses are opening and that things are coming back somewhat, and in-person activities. And I really appreciate you, Linda, for managing the webinar today. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Lani. Great job. And look at that, ending right on time. We value your time. Lani has wonderful webinars. So please do, Lani and all of our other trainers, please do go to the events link that I put in the chat and you can check out future trainings. We would love to see you on one in the future. Lani, I am going to wrap up. I will save the chat for our future reference and share that with you. Anything you'd like to say before we close?
No, just thank you, everybody, and keep up the hard work.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.